What if everything you were taught about Jesus is only the surface of a much deeper truth? What if, behind the familiar parables repeated for centuries, there exists a message few have dared to explore? This is not just about faith, morality, or salvation after death. This is about consciousness, identity, and a hidden power within the human being. Today, you will understand why some of Jesus' words were softened, others misunderstood, and some quietly removed from history. And by the end, you'll discover the teaching that completely changes how you understand God, yourself, and reality.
For centuries, Jesus has been portrayed mainly as a symbol of love, sacrifice, and redemption. But in ancient spiritual traditions, he appears as something more, an initiated master, someone who understood the mechanics of consciousness and the nature of reality. In these traditions, Jesus doesn't teach people what to believe, but how to awaken. He speaks not of a distant kingdom in the sky, but of an inner state accessible here and now. Not of obedience, but of inner freedom. And that is where the tension begins.
In the early centuries of Christianity, many writings circulated among Jesus' followers. Not all of them survived. Some contained ideas too disruptive for emerging religious authority: self-knowledge, inner divinity, and direct access to truth. Over time, institutions decided which texts would shape belief and which would disappear. One of these excluded writings is the Gospel of Thomas, a collection of sayings attributed to Jesus, stripped of miracles and narrative, focused purely on awareness. In it, we find a statement that changes everything. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. This is not about sin. It is about ignorance of the self.
This idea is not unique to early Christianity. In Hermetic philosophy, we read, "As within, so without." In Buddhism, suffering arises from identification with the ego. In Eastern traditions, liberation comes from remembering one's true nature. Jesus taught the same truth, but through symbols and parables. When he says, "The kingdom of God is within you," it is not metaphorical, it is literal. And a human being who understands this cannot be easily controlled.
One of Jesus' most misunderstood statements is this: "Whoever seeks to save his life will lose it." For centuries, this was interpreted as physical sacrifice, but the deeper meaning points elsewhere. Jesus was speaking about the death of the false self, the collapse of the ego-based identity, the roles, labels, and illusions we cling to. Only when that identity dissolves does something greater emerge. The Gnostics called this gnosis, direct knowledge of truth, not learned, but remembered.
Imagine a world where people don't need intermediaries to access the divine, where spiritual authority is not centralized in institutions. Such a world threatens systems built on fear and dependency. That is why the most liberating teachings are often labeled heresy, why texts are censored, why mystics are silenced. Jesus didn't threaten religion alone, he challenged power itself. There is one sentence that summarizes everything. "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." But free from what? From fear, from illusion, from the belief that you are separate from the source of life. When Jesus says, "I and the Father are one," he is not placing himself above humanity. He is revealing a universal potential. The divine spark is not outside you, it is within you. Jesus spoke in parables, and many of them concealed profound truths that only those with eyes to see and ears to hear could understand. Take, for example, the parable of the sower. In it, Jesus speaks of a man who plants seeds. Some fall on fertile ground and bear fruit, while others fall on rocky soil and cannot grow. At first glance, it seems like a simple metaphor about faith. But if we look deeper, we see that Jesus is speaking about the power of consciousness. The seeds represent knowledge. The soil represents our mind. If our mind is closed, knowledge cannot take root. But if we open ourselves to truth, then that knowledge will flourish and transform us. And what about the famous phrase, "Ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened"? This is not just an invitation to prayer, it is a code for the search for truth. Jesus is telling us that knowledge will not be given passively. We must actively seek it with determination and genuine desire to understand.
However, not everyone was prepared to receive this knowledge. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says something unsettling. "Do not give what is holy to dogs, nor cast your pearls before swine." What do these words mean? Jesus was not belittling people. He was warning that sacred knowledge can only be understood by those who are ready to receive it. Attempting to reveal these truths to those unprepared only generates rejection and confusion. In the Gospel of Mark, his disciples asked him why he spoke in parables, and he responded, "To you has been given the mystery of the kingdom of God, but to those outside, everything is said in parables." Why didn't Jesus explain his teachings directly to everyone? The answer is simple. Because true knowledge cannot be imposed. It can only be discovered by those who truly seek it. Those who are not prepared to receive the truth will reject it, ridicule it, or distort it. But those with open minds and hearts will see it clearly. To truly understand Jesus' hidden teachings, we must explore his connection with ancient wisdom traditions. Most people know him through conventional biblical accounts, but what is rarely mentioned is that Jesus did not emerge in a spiritual vacuum. His message had deep roots in ancient mystical currents, such as the teachings of the Essenes, Egyptian knowledge, and Eastern wisdom. The Essenes were a community of mystics who lived in retreat near the Dead Sea, practicing a lifestyle based on purity, meditation, and self-knowledge. It is well known that John the Baptist, who prepared the way for Jesus, had strong ties to this group. The Essenes believed in the illumination of the Spirit through discipline and connection with inner divinity, an idea that resonates deeply with Jesus' words when he said, "The kingdom of God is within you." Some scholars have even suggested that during his youth, Jesus may have traveled to distant lands, learning from other spiritual traditions. In India, there are ancient manuscripts that speak of a master known as Isa, whom many believe to be Jesus. According to these texts, Isa spent years among Buddhist monks, absorbing teachings about compassion, meditation, and the illusory nature of the material world. And here is where everything begins to fit together. Jesus was not only teaching about love and faith, he was also speaking about detachment from the material world and the importance of awakening inner consciousness. This idea is strikingly similar to the teachings of the Buddha, who centuries earlier spoke of the illusion of the ego and the need to transcend suffering through enlightenment. In ancient Egypt, Hermetic wisdom taught that everything in the universe is mind, that external reality is merely a reflection of our internal consciousness. Jesus expressed this same idea in a different way when he said, "Whatever you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive." This is not about blind faith. It is a profound understanding that our mind and spirit have the power to manifest reality. This concept is not exclusive to Christianity. In the Vedanta philosophy of India, it is taught that Atman, the individual soul, and Brahman,
the supreme reality, are one and the same. In Hermetic wisdom, it is said that God is mind and the universe is mental. In the Kabbalah, there is the concept of tikkun, the restoration of balance in the soul. And in the Taoist tradition, there is talk of the balance between yin and yang as the key to achieving harmony. All of this leads us to the same conclusion. Divinity is not separate from us, it is within us. Medieval alchemists understood this deeply. They were not only seeking to turn lead into gold, they understood alchemy as an internal process of illumination. When Jesus spoke of making the two one, he was speaking of this same alchemical transformation, the unification of opposites, the integration of body and spirit, of the material and the divine, of the conscious and unconscious mind.
One more truth must be understood. Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection were not merely historical events. They are symbols of a process that each of us must go through. The crucifixion represents the dissolution of the illusory self, the detachment from the material world. The resurrection symbolizes the awakening of consciousness, the entry into a state of unity with the divine. This is the core of all advanced spiritual teachings, the death of the false self and the rebirth into true essence. It is the same principle found in Buddhist philosophy, where it is taught that enlightenment is only achieved when the ego is transcended. We also see it in spiritual alchemy, where death symbolizes the transformation of the human being into their purest state. Jesus did not only teach this with words, he left clues for those who truly wished to understand. So the question is not, who was Jesus? The real question is, are you ready for this awakening? Because understanding this teaching is not enough. Knowing that the kingdom of God is within you changes nothing if you do not take the next step. True knowledge is not information, it is transformation. Jesus did not only speak of truth, he lived it, embodied it in each of his actions. And this is the invitation he left us, not only to listen, but to experience, not only to believe, but to live the truth. If you truly wish to awaken to this reality, begin by looking within yourself. Ask yourself, what part of my life is based on fear and not on love? Where do I remain trapped in beliefs that limit me? Am I living from my true essence or from an identity created by the external world? And above all, remember these words of Jesus, "You will do even greater things than these." Jesus did not come to show us what he could do, but what we are also capable of doing when we awaken our true nature. The final secret is this. The kingdom of God is not a place we reach after death, but a state of consciousness we can achieve now. There are no barriers between us and divinity, except those we build ourselves. And when we tear down those barriers, when we stop searching outside and turn inward, then and only then do we find the truth that makes us truly free. The true message of Jesus was never about waiting for heaven after death. It was about awakening now. Not about blindly following doctrines, but about turning inward. Because real knowledge is not information, it is transformation. So the final question is not who Jesus was. The real question is, who do you become when you awaken? Perhaps that is why he said, "You will do even greater things than these." The kingdom was never far away. It has always been waiting within you. If this message resonated with you, if something within you recognized this truth, leave your like on this video, not for me, but as a symbol that you are ready for this journey of awakening. And in the comments, answer this question. Which teaching of Jesus had the deepest impact on you today? Was it the idea of the inner kingdom, the death of the ego, the connection to ancient traditions?
Share your reflection below, because when we share our search for truth, we inspire others to begin their own journey. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, share this video with them. Truth always finds those who are ready to receive it. Subscribe to the channel for more content about consciousness, spirituality, and the hidden teachings that can transform your life. Until the next journey, and remember, awakening is not a destination, it is a path that begins now within you.